Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and it's the 26th of October when I'm filming this. I'm kind of more doing this as a comparison vlog, as it were, for myself, for my own records, rather than necessarily for other people. But the reason I'm doing these fruits is to see if there's any variation in sweetness over a period of time and for different varieties. Now, these 4 pineapple guavas that I found on the ground today are actually the variety Nikita, which I don't think I've ever had a fruit off before. I don't think I had any last year. Now, the fruits are small on this. Now, I think that's not necessarily because it's not a large variety, but I think they're particularly small because it's probably quite pot bound in a small container, and it's behind other plants and trees. It's quite shaded, and we've had a funny year for pineapple guavas. So to give you an idea of the size of them, there's a pecan nut, or pecan as my American friends would call it. We call them pecans here. These are more like the size, I would say, of more like a gherkin than a pineapple guava. And the fruit that's come off today is another Morris Burton. Now, the Morris Burton I tried a week or so ago was completely bland. It didn't have any sweetness. This is definitely fully ripe. It's much riper than the others on the plant. You can see it's all splitting and it's very, very squashy, so it shouldn't have any astringency to it at all. But for comparison, there it is compared to the size of a walnut. So what I thought I'd do today, and it's not easy to do sugar content tests on persimmons because they're quite a heavy sort of jelly flesh to them, so you can't extract juice. But I might better mix a little bit of the pulp with some water and possibly get a brix reading from it. The pineapple guavas aren't so bad because you can normally squeeze a bit of the juice onto the refractometer and get a brix reading. Obviously these are small fruits and I'm not expecting them to be particularly sweet, but we will cut them open and have a look and taste them. I believe the skin is thinner on Nikita and therefore likely to be more edible. I don't think the fruit's going to taste any different to my Triumph, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. But I know there are certain people who are interested in the various varieties as well as, of course, persimmons. So we're going to have a little look and see what the brix content, what the sugar content is on them, and also if they taste any different to the Triumph that I did yesterday. So I'm going to flip the camera around and come back to you. Now, fortunately, I got home a little bit earlier today, so it just means it is possible that I can do these tastings. And I thought what I'd do is, as these look rather gherkin-like, I thought I might just try biting this Nikita. As it's the smallest one, I'm thinking it'll be the most bitter or acidic. So let's just see what this one's like. Not particularly sweet, at least doesn't taste particularly sweet. Obviously I've eaten it with the skin. What I'm planning to do the next one, cut it in half, let you see the inside. This one's got a tri pattern. Sometimes they have 4 sections of the gel, sometimes they have 5. This one's got 3, but that's probably because it's a very small fruit. So I'm going to see if I can squeeze some juice onto the refractometer. This should be relatively easy to get some juice out. Let's see what the sugar content is like. Okay, that's very low, that's 9. I have had them with I've had these with 14. They're not as sweet as some fruits, but that's showing a brix of 9, which is actually very low as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if the flavour of the fruit reflects that. I'm not going to eat the skin with this one. Definitely not the sugar content in the small fruits. Do I think it tastes any different to Triumph? Personally, no. I think that every pineapple guava I've eaten tastes the same to me. There is some variation in the smoothness and thickness of the skin, and some of them have a grainier flesh than others. This one's quite a smooth flesh, not grainy at all. So before it gets dark, let's have a look at this Morris Burton persimmon. Cut this in half. I'm going to wipe the refractometer. See if I can manage to get some pulp, which I'm going to have to mix with some water on this, because otherwise I won't be able to get a reading, so it's too jellified. You can't get a reading on the refractometer. Of course, mixing with water might throw the figures out somewhat, but let's have a look, see. Interestingly, that's also reading around 9 to 10 as well. Well, it's quite common for persimmons to get up to more like 15, 16 or higher up the scale, so clearly this is not a sweet fruit. There might be a lot of reasons for that: the climate, time of year it ripens, the size of the fruit, the size of the tree, the fact that it's in a pot, not giving it the energy. We have had a cool summer. Let's see what it tastes like. Now this you can eat the has got a seed in it. It looks like it might be viable. Let's try it with the skin. Now that one, that's got more flavour than the one from last week. That's actually quite pleasant. It's not got that sweet honey type flavour that you can get on persimmon sometimes, but that one's actually quite nice. I'm not sure how to describe it. Yeah, there's one seed here, although it's not ripe. It's quite fat, so I don't know if it would be viable if it was dried out or not. I wouldn't call that fruit the fruit of the gods, but it is quite a nice persimmon. It's definitely better than the Morris Burton I had last week. Definitely sweeter, although the taste is better than the one I had last week. Got 2 or 3 seeds in it, but 2 of the seeds are definitely thin, and I would say not viable. There's only one possibly viable one if it dries out. I'm not going to bother anyway because I've got plenty of persimmons and I don't need any seedlings. So that is a tasting done of fruits that were actually picked up or pulled off the tree today. The Morris Burton I took off the tree because it was going squashy and it wouldn't have lasted any longer on the tree. I did have a mesh bag around it, and the birds or some of the insects probably would have gone for it. And the persimmons I found on the ground, the 4 Nikita. I did harvest a couple of Triumph today as well, but I didn't taste those. Wanted to keep them separate. And as yet, no mammoth have fallen, so we might be some way before we actually get the mammoth to do anything. So I hope that tasting was of interest. I'm just going to tell you what I'll quickly do. I'm going to cut the another Nikita in length, so you can see them if you cut them lengthways. As I said, it looks like a little miniature gherkin. Taste it again. They have quite a scented, slightly citrusy, floral, sometimes almost a medicinal taste to them. They're quite aromatic. I like them, but I can imagine some people might not like the fruit because they might find them too aromatic. But I think it'll vary from variety to variety. I'll cut the last one up and eat that as well. Waste not, want not. I could leave them in the fruit bowl to possibly ripen up a bit more for a few days, but sometimes I think it's better off to eat them as they drop, because that's when they're likely to be at their freshest. And they may have been sitting on the floor for a day or two, because obviously I'm not out here every day because of rain and work. Anyway, that was a persimmon Morris Burton. That's an American native persimmon variety. And pineapple guava Nikita, which I'm not sure that I've had before. I've certainly had a Gemini, but thought it'd be worth doing a quick tasting for you. Appreciate it if you stuck the video out. Please give me a thumbs up. Welcome to share the video if you think anybody would be interested in those tastings. Please subscribe to my channel and remember to click on the bell if you'd like updates on new videos when they come out. I'll catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.